Well, hello and welcome to this YFP 202 special webcast. Shaklee's new compensation plan launched on June 1st, bringing a mix of excitement and uncertainty for many, and hopefully more excitement than in uncertainty, but understanding the nuances of the new plan and ensuring your teams are fully equipped to thrive are really critical to your success. Some of the common challenges could be understanding the differences of the plans, knowing what parts of the plan that you need to focus on, how to keep it simple for others to understand, and of course, finding prospects willing to listen so you can actually explain to them the great parts of the compensation plan that are really suitable for them in the discovery stage. So I'm so glad that you've decided to join us for this exclusive webcast where we're going to break down Shaklee's 2024 compensation plan, currently known as the pilot plan. Maybe there is another name, but that's the way I know it, into simple, easy to understand segments. And joining us tonight is top leader and master coordinator Angel Torres, who was part of the committee that actually created and worked with the corporate to create the plan. And he's going to provide a high level overview of the new plan structure and benefits, and really kind of the changes you might need to make, the shift you might need to make mentally to embrace this new plan. Angel Torres is again a Shaklee Master Coordinator and respected leader in the Shaklee community. He even worked in corporate with Roger to help Roger when Roger first bought Shaklee many years ago. And he's got years of experience and a proven track record of success. And his expertise and insights will guide you through the essentials of the new compensation plan, ensuring, again, you're well prepared to leverage its benefits for your business growth. So whether you're a seasoned ambassador or new to Shaklee, this webcast will equip you with the key insights and strategies needed to max your earning potential and support your team's growth. So in this webcast, you're going to discover the vision behind the change, essential updates explained, strategic focus areas, sort of where you want to focus your efforts, and then prospect attraction techniques, plus much more. And if you're new to YFP, or if this is the first time you've been on one of our live events, please type "I'm new" in the chat so that we can give you a big warm welcome. And if you're watching this on our live stream and Facebook, please type in the comments if you have questions and where you're watching from. And let's go to Kristen for some shout outs. So who do we have with us? Who's new, Kristen, if they have been typing in "I'm new"?
We've got a few newbies. We have Emily Grace is here, brand new one. And Pam, I think it's Sheehan, is here. Same with George Bond. Good to see you. And a few names that I can't quite see. But there's quite a few new people in here. So thank you and welcome.
Yeah, great to see you. Rita's out there. And we have 193 people who are watching us. And then we have, I'm seeing 8 in the live stream. So it's so nice to see you. And then, of course, we've got Angel in the green room ready to come in. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Jody Steek, but you can call me Coach Jody. I was 8 years old when my parents started their wellness business in 1981. And I was lucky enough to be able to join them on Shaklee's yearly incentive trips and drive in their bonus cars. And I wanted the lifestyle, so I sponsored under them when I was 18. And in 1997, we realized we needed to learn how to use the internet to build if we wanted to build beyond our Vancouver island. So with the help of a web developer in the Philippines, I put our 3-step sponsoring system online, and within a few months, using our new online system, I became a director. I was actually working out of San Diego at that time. And other leaders started asking if they could get a website like mine, and that was the beginning of what is now Your Freedom Project. And Your Freedom Project, or YFP for short, has evolved into a 360-degree ecosystem of marketing resources for wellness educators like you guys who want to shift from sales-centric tactics to an approach that magnetically draws people to them and retains them for life. And let's go to poll.
All right. Our first poll of the night. So where are you in Shaklee's compensation plans? Are you currently on the legacy plan, the dream plan, or pilot plan, or are you not quite sure where you are on there? So go ahead and select your answer.
So far, it's a lot of legacy.
Oh, one pilot. So thanks for being here.
Whoa, okay, yeah, that's awesome. And there's a few that aren't even sure. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. You may not know. I guess we could say this. If you have been in Shaklee before 2004, 100% you're on legacy unless you decided to move to Dream Plan. I think Dream Plan came in somewhere around 2007 to 2009, something like that. So maybe Angel will quote me there, but that's great. So let's go to the next segment then. Okay, so here we are with Angel Torres. So thanks again for joining us. I'm just going to move the poll out of the way here. And Angel, it's great. Thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight. Good to see you.
My pleasure. Good to see you too.
Okay, so let's just crack right into it. And probably the first thing that we will want to cover is, can you share some tips on how new ambassadors? Well, let me backtrack a little bit here. Let me just make sure I've got the right one there. Yeah, the first one that's on my questions here, I got to go back one page. Sorry, there we go. Is what are the key differences between the new compensation plan and the Dream Plan? So we're not even going to talk about legacy because really that is the shift at this point. So maybe you could share that. What are the key differences between the two, between Dream Plan and Pilot?
Well, first of all, before I begin, thank you very much for inviting me to do this presentation. I'd like to say that Roger explained to all of us that we have the legacy plan, we have the Dream Plan, and how we're going to call this new plan, and it's not called the Pilot. It's called the Shaklee Compensation Plan.
Okay, it's just that's the plan. Okay, good. Thank you.
Very simple. Very simple.
Okay.
And when people ask me why did Shaklee created this, it's very usual in our industry for companies to create or make changes to the plan to make sure that what we're doing is how society is dealing with their lives nowadays. And of course, you remember, because your parents were legacy plan, we were doing things that now nobody wants to do. And then, society changed, and then we came up with the Dream Plan. We made some changes, and this plan, in reality, one of the characteristics is that it's predictable. For example, with the previous plan, when somebody said to you, okay, I like to earn $500, what do I need to do? And then you would go and say, well, you got to do this. And then you start mentioning PB, and then you do this volume, and then you have to pay other people from the volume of your group. And, and people nowadays, they don't like that. They want you to say, you do this and you get this. So this new plan is predictable on that way. It's very clear to explain, and it's very clear to understand. I have had people that I explain, and they just get it right immediately. The other reason is how people want to work in today's world. They don't want to have to go through a long period of time learning about something like, I'm teaching people that in the first month they can earn $500, and what I teach them, it's so simple that not only they do it, but also they can teach other people, even if they are brand new. The other thing is that everyone that gets a bonus is their bonus. They don't have to share with other people. You earn the 500, but you have to pay your people this much and this much. No, whatever you get, you get to keep. And it's not that we're, being selfish. It's just that nowadays people want to be clear. Well, you told me to do this, and I did it, and now you say that I have to share. So that kind of things, is what we try to do. The other thing is that it puts money on people's hand immediately. I don't share this story, Jody, but and the reason I don't share it is because if I tell someone that 47 years ago my first bonus check was $4.74, they would say thank you, but not thank you. It doesn't work anymore, so I don't even talk about it. But it puts money on people's pocket. We have three things that I know that you're going to ask me about. That is the first thing that I tell people. Those three things on how you're going to make money right from the beginning. And the other thing is that with this plan, people want to become director, and they want to stay at director because there are benefits for staying in that rank. And as you know, it's all about becoming director, because when you have a director, you become coordinator, senior executive coordinator, key coordinator, master, and presidential master. So it's just about teaching people how to become director. And people want to become director and want to stay there so they don't lose benefits. So.
And that was one of the challenges, wasn't it? Is Shaklee was struggling to get people to become and stay as directors with the Dream Plan, correct?
Yes, actually, yes.
So, I'm just going to echo you on one thing you said there, which is teaching to teach. That's what we've been about for so long. So to hear you say that is really great. Let's ask the next question, which is why should current ambassadors not leave their existing plan, at least not yet, if at all?
That's a good question, and thank you for asking. I have people in my own organization that I explain how the plan works, and of course, I don't go deep into it, but when I explain, especially the first 5 ways of making money, people want to jump in and, hey, I want to go to the new plan. And what I tell them is, look, you have the best of both worlds. You are on the Dream Plan, and you can stay there and build there, and also you can build on the new plan. So my suggestion to even in my organization is stay where you are, and at least for the first 6 months or 9 months or first year, and then you can make decisions if you want to continue to be in both worlds, so you can have best of both worlds, or you can go full into the other plan. So I have people that have said to me, I want to go to the new plan, and when I explain that to them, they make the decision of staying where they are. And with regard to teach people how to teach other, this is what I meant when I said this to you, Jody. There's a question, should I build wide or should I build in depth? And the reason people ask that is because personally, and I know many, if not everyone that is on Legacy and Dream Plan, we all build in depth. We sponsor first level, then second, third, and so on. Except there's a master coordinator that happened to be the first master in Shaklee. His name is Al Hageman, that we all remember. I never forget one time he told me that he built wide. And he said, what I used to tell people is, whatever I do with you to build you to director, that's exactly what you're going to do with your people. Well, I listened to what he said, but I didn't use it on the Dream Plan or on the Legacy Plan or vice versa. But on this plan, personally, and other people might feel different. This is, hey, I've always said, if you ask 10 people how they would do it, you get 12 different answers, because some people have 2 ways of building it. But in reality, on this plan, I personally feel that people should build wide. And then I also said, but make sure that what you are doing with your first generation or first levels, you teach people to do it to their people. Let me give you an example. We have a couple brand new, they're from Miami, and they just sponsored their first person yesterday, I think it was. So what we told them is to remember the email that we sent you, a welcome email that had 2 videos, the Shaklee difference and why supplements. And they said, yeah, well, you're going to take that same email, you're going to personalize it, and you're going to send it to this person that you just sponsored. That's what I mean. You know, whatever you do with your first generation, teach them to do with their first generation. And the reason for this is, you know, once you really learn this compensation plan, you'll see that it pay off. And another reason, because I'm going to say this, I hope it crosses the way I want it. You know, the way Evelyn and I built our business, kind of, we were kings, you know, kings and queens. Like everything was, well, let's ask Evelyn. She's the one that knows everything about skin care and all of that. It was about motivation or nutrition. Let's ask Angel. So no, nowadays we want people to learn whatever they need to learn, simple, and then we want to teach them to teach their people to do the same. We don't want to be the heroes of the entire organization. We want them to be the heroes of their own people. And that's the way you do it, you know, you build that way. So anyway, hope that explanation worked.
No, that's great. I love how we just keep coming back to teach and to teach. So basically you're empowering people to be very effective at their own level without having you. I think that's very, very important. Here's I think, an important question. You know, when you and I spoke, obviously you had some concerns and you didn't love everything about the plan. And we want people to realize that just because we're going to share it and be excited about it with new people doesn't mean we don't have some concerns, right? So how do you get over some of the worries that you have? How do you stay motivated and excited about the new plan, even if there are some aspects that you don't initially like?
That's a really good question, because I have people that when they heard that I'm going to be speaking on this conference, I said, oh, so I see that now you really bought into the new plan.
Yeah.
Well, you know, here's the answer. We already have the new plan. We can't go back and say, well, I don't want this, I want the other. You know, it's a new plan, so we have to accept it, you know. And of course, you know, like when we say, you know, new goals require new thinking and new behaviors. And right now we have this plan, and this is the Shaklee plan. So I am going to continue working with the people that I have, the business that I have, but I have to teach them how to promote this plan, because that's all they have. We cannot build in another plan. We have to build on this one. So what I tell people is, you know, focus on the new plan, bring people to the new plan, and share with them how to work on that new plan, and show them the things that you believe in. Especially, and again, I know that you're going to ask me this, but especially the first 5 ways that they can make money, which is the 30 for 30, the $75, the 10 to 40%, level 1 and level 2. I teach people those, and I am not going to talk to new people about all the other parts until they really learn those 5 things. And you know what? It's interesting, because I am having people explaining to me what they are learning. And I want to make sure that they learn those 5. And those 5 are mainly what we call the front end of the compensation plan. So, you know, if you're listening to this for the first time, make sure that you learn the 5 ways to make money at the beginning. And then once you learn that, then you can continue and learn what is called the back end, which is developing business leaders first level, first generation, second, third, and so on. But make sure that you understand, again, the 30 for 30, the $75, the 10 to 40%, level 1 and level 2. Those 5 you need to know by hand.
And we're going to dig into that in a minute, folks. So I realize some of you are wanting to see that. But it's super important that you guys first embrace this mentally so that then, we all know that you're not going to remember everything that we're going to share with you. You're going to need to learn this over and over. But what matters is that you first understand how to look at this from a leader's perspective. And as you can see, that question, I think, addressed that. Let's also remember this, that there's a different audience here. So there are people that are existing leaders that have a large organization. So the way you're going to have to understand the plan is a little different than someone who might be just on the new compensation plan, and that's it. Obviously for you, so the brand new people who are the one person that was here tonight who indicated they were on the new plan, they don't need to worry about teaching, dream, or legacy, right, Angel? They only need to worry about the one plan. So obviously if you're legacy, you are going to need to explain to your team more than you would need to know. And if you're only on dream, you'd only need to explain a little bit less. So we just want to clarify that first you guys need to go, well, who are you? Are you someone who's got a large organization? How will you need to embrace it? And what do you need to do about this? So one of it, of course, is being able to first teach it to the team of how will it affect them and their own purchases and things like that. Well, it won't affect you if you are on legacy or dream. There's no changes. So all it's really going to affect is how you will, when you are enrolling new people, how you'll be explaining how they can earn. And I think that's the easiest way to think of it in that sense. So legacy, dream, no changes at all to your purchasing percentages or any of those sorts of things. So let's dig into what you said, the first 5 things. And gang, I'm also going to mention this as well, is that, we have some slides that we took from Shaklee's toolbox, which is made by corporate. Now, Angel has made his own presentation because that's what we leaders do, is we take what corporate gives us and we modify it to what best suits the way we choose to present it. Well, Angel has graciously allowed us to be able to take that presentation that he uses, and we are going to put it inside our back office so that you guys can use the version that he uses. So give me a yes in the chat if that's something you guys would be interested in having. If you guys would like to have Angel's version of this. So obviously him as a leader and the way he's going to present it's going to be different than the way corporate would present it. So we've got a lot of people who are saying that, and Angel, so we've got 237 in the room here, and the yeses are probably going to go for a while. So let's move on to the next one here, and let's, if we could, go. So this is the corporate slide, so just kind of bear with us. If we could go to the first one, we're going to just talk about the purchasing. So let's go to slide 1, Patrick, if we could. And let's just get you to share this one first, Angel.
Before I do that, I like to make sure that people understand that if you are in the legacy plan or in the dream plan, you sponsor members that go to your plan. The only ones that goes to the new plan are the ambassadors that you sponsor. Okay, let me say that again. I want to make sure that people understand this. If you're in the legacy or the dream plan, all the members that you sponsor go with you to the legacy or dream plan. Now, no matter what plan you are, if you sponsor people that are ambassadors, they go to the new plan.
So maybe, Kristen, could you type that in the chat just so that we have a text? Kristen, could you type that in the chat there? So again, members go to whatever plan you're on, and ambassadors will always go to the new plan no matter what plan you're on. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that one on how well done there. Okay, should we go to the first slide then? So basically what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of walk through, gang. This isn't how Angel presents it, by the way, but I just wanted to have him address some of his thoughts or insights on certain slides that we felt were pretty key. And we're going to start with this one here. So and actually before maybe let's pull back for a minute. I think I have a question that maybe we should even address first. And that is, why should we avoid enrolling someone as an ambassador until we know they want to be an ambassador? That was something.
That is a great question.
Yeah.
And the reason it's a great question is because people that are in Legacy and Dream Plan, we were trained or thought that, try to bring as many builders as you want. Mm-hmm. And then we used to sponsor builders, and many of them, because our saying was, because if they don't build a business, at least they stay as consumers. Okay, that was a rationale. On this plan, you need consumers to qualify for the 10 to 40%. So, like the bonus schedule is how we call it. It's the amount of the dollar purchases and also the amount of customers that purchase product that specific month. So you want a high number on both sides. We'll go through that in a minute. But so what I tell people is, I do my presentation of the new plan, and then I suggest to them, listen, use the products, become a member, use the products, and if you become excited about the products, then you can learn how you can earn for sharing with other people. Just provide an orientation to other people, and that's how you can earn money. And with that money, you can either get free products, you can pay for your products, or you can make whatever amount of money. So people will join you as members, and if they do like the products, again, selling is a transfer of excitement. They're excited about the products, so now they're ready to become ambassadors and share with others. Now, if they, for whatever reason, don't get too excited and whatever, well, we keep them as members, okay? Again, I respect how people build their business. This is something that I've been on this plan. I mean, not me, but I have 50% of my team it's on this plan, and I've seen, and that's what I see. Bring them as members, unless you have a person who is a builder who knows how to build this business and whatever. Well, then you don't need to bring them as member. Bring them as ambassadors, okay? But if it's a new person and they're trying to check the products and things like that, don't bring them as an ambassador. Bring them as members, okay? Again, that's my suggestion.
And just so everyone knows who's typing in the chat, some of these questions we may be able to address later. So Kristen is just going to be noting and tabulating. So even though I may not be addressing some of your questions coming in now, gang, we will try at the end if we have time. But I think it's so critical that you guys hear what Angel just said. So I'm just going to echo it one more time, that the new plan is really dependent upon how many customers you have, as opposed to in the past, if you just had a whole bunch of ambassadors and no actual members, you'd still be able to avail all the benefits without any what's called breakage, meaning there was no restrictions. Bottom line was, as long as you did the volume, you would make the percentages, that's it. Whereas now there are requirements for how many customers you have. And part of that, what Shaklee says, has to do with the FTC and their requirements for how many customers each distributor should have, basically, is part of the challenge. And this is what Shaklee Legal shared with me a long time ago. But we won't get into any deeper in that, but we just want you to be clear that finding customers is important. Now, I will just add this one point. You mentioned something about sales as a transfer of energy, which is a really great point. And many of you have heard our what we've been talking and teaching for a long time, which is you lead with education and then you have a sales conversation when the time is right. And I just wanted to clarify that because we talk about how to create sales without specializing in selling. But the reality is you still have to sell. What's important is when you sell. And that's really what we're all about. And So our strategy in using the compensation plan as a tool to get you to a sales conversation is very important. So let's dig into that first slide again if we could. So we're going to get a bit into the weeds, so bear with us. What would you want to say on this slide, Angel?
Well, members and ambassador, they all shop at 15% discount. And then when the ambassador becomes a business leader or director, they get a 25% discount. That's what it says.
Okay, so that's the key there is, let's just say that one more time. When the, about the 25%, again, clarify, how do they get to the 25%?
Okay, everyone that joins Shaklee gets a 15% discount. Okay, members and
As a member.
ambassadors.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
As a member or ambassador, you get 15% discount. Now, when the ambassador become a director, instead of getting 15% discount, now they get 25% discount. 25% discount.
So again, that's off of retail price, originally known as the member price. Something that we also want to get clarity with is that Shaklee is wanting to adjust some of the languaging a little bit, so that's why you may hear us sort of steer away from words like uplines and downlines, and even though we're old school, so we might have a hard time with that. But let's go to the next slide. So again, you got to be a director to get the 25%. So let's go to this slide. And what would you like to say about this one?
Okay, remember that I said that nowadays people want to see money immediately. That $4.74 first check that we got, that doesn't fly anymore. So this benefit is really good. When you sponsor someone, member or ambassador, whatever they purchase in the first 30 days, you get 30% of the dollar amount. Now, let me say something else about this. When I say the first 30 days, it's not like if they join in May, it's the month of May, or June is the month of June. No. What we're saying is the first 30 days, if they join on the 10th of June, they have until July 9, whatever is 30 days, you get 30% whatever they purchases they do. Okay? On your people that you personally bring to Shaklee. So, you know, this 30 for 30 is very important so people can make money. If you have 3 people that join, and I think that we have an example of that, that purchased, let's say $500, 30% of that is $150. So,
and let's zoom out again for a minute. Share with us, we'll just stay with the 2 box, but if I could get Kristen to type this in the chat, give me the 5, I believe it's 5 items that you focus on. What are those again? One is the 30 for 30, the 75.
The 10 to 40.
The 10 to 40%.
30 for 30,
mm-hmm.
$75, 10 to 40%, level 1 bonus, and level 2 bonus.
Okay, so Kristen, if you're able to type that in there. So we'll just make sure. So the slides, guys, that we're going to go through are not exactly in the order of the way Angel does it. I'll also just say this. Everyone who has registered for this webcast, don't you worry. We're going to send you the replay to this, so you don't need to give us your email here to do that. We're already going to send you the replay. And I will make sure we send out a link in the email to Angel's presentation as well. So you won't have to type it in the chat. We're going to make sure that you guys get it. All right. And we'll also put it in our back office, in our business files, so you guys can get it there. So, okay. Now let's go to the next slide if we could, Patrick, and let's talk about this one.
Okay. Here we're talking about anytime you sponsor 3 people or more, and you have a total of $500 in sales, the company pays you $75. And why do I say 3 people or more? Is because perhaps you had 3 people and you only have $450 in sales, and then the 4th person purchases $50, that's $500 in sales. So you get $75 every time you get 3 people or more buying $500 or more.
And does
every
that
time you get 3,
within a month, right?
yes, within a month, calendar month.
Got it. Okay, perfect. And let's go to the next slide. So again, that's one of the, now this one you said this was kind of a combo. So maybe you could share with us, how would you explain this one?
Right, right. Here, this is a good example of 30 for 30 and the 10 and the 75. Here you have someone who placed an order for 250, another one for 50, another one for 200, which totals $500 at 30% because it's in the first 30 days, plus a $75 that totals $225 bonus. So it's a little bit more than the $4.74 that I earned when I started.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's go to the next one, the next slide, this one here.
Okay, so this is for reorders, okay? Reorders, although the volume of the people in the first 30 days are also here. So people that are reordering, you can earn 10 to 40%. And then if we go to the next slide, it shows a chart on how we get paid. See, we have 2 columns that are very important. The amount of customers that you personally brought to your business and the total purchases in dollar amount will determine what commission percentage you will get. On the next slide, you see an example here where you have 3 people in your team that are reordering, and they ordered $750. So because it's 3 people and $750, you qualify for a 15%, which is $112. Now remember, this is dollars. And the other thing I want to say before we continue, and I forget, is that, I'm sorry, I already said it, that from whatever bonus you get, you don't have to pay anybody. This is your personal bonus. Next.
That's a good point. There's no payouts, like you said before. This is what you get.
Yes.
I'm just going to add to those of you guys that are saying you wanted Susan's PowerPoint, or anybody who wants to share a PowerPoint that you've made, you think that would be good too. You could just go ahead and post that in our YFP group. And anyone else who wants to grab that, you can do that. And I will just also make a plug for us in that you can also hire us to go in and take your PowerPoints if you're not great with graphic design, and we will sweeten up your PowerPoints so we beautify it and give it back to you, and then you can have your PowerPoint in your way, but with a pro designer who makes it pretty for you. So let's go to the next slide.
Great.
Oh, go ahead, Angel.
And Jody, no, I was going to say that in the presentation that and guys, I apologize. I should have sent this presentation to Jody so that I could have done my presentation the way I usually train people. And of course, since I have done it so many times, I do a much better job than I'm doing tonight. But it was my fault. I didn't send it. I thought I had, but I didn't. But anyway, in that presentation, Jody, I want to mention that there's 5 steps that I took from Charlene Fike. She talks about 5 steps. Number 1 is teach people how to familiarize themselves with the compensation plan. The second step is to ask yourself how much money you want to earn, and then ask people, what are you going to do with that money? Attach, how much money, and then why do you want to earn that money? And then it gives you a few examples of how, And then the third point is, what program or group of products are you going to use? For example, Evelyn and I, we use the Ready Set Wellness, and we also use the Shaklee 180 program. And Evelyn uses the youth program. So identify which program you use, because the next step is how many programs you need to sell to earn the amount of money that you want to sell. And then the number 5 is how how much you would earn if you had two people doing exactly the same thing that you're doing. And that part is quite interesting, especially in the presentation that you're going to share with them, because it shows not only first level, but also second level. And again, you earn up to 16% on your original, the people that you personally sponsor, and up to 8% on the second level. And on that presentation, it goes really well and explains, the whole deal. And with this presentation, I'm not saying it's the best presentation, it's the one that I'm using, and it has worked. With that presentation, people can see, and they can see themselves doing it. And not only that, and this point is very important, people can see themselves teaching others how to do it. And that part is quite important, because what I love about network marketing is the fact of the multiplication factor. And we need to make sure and pay close attention to that. Make sure that whatever you do is duplicatable.
Right.
It's the first time you hear that? No way. You have heard that many, many times.
Yeah. Well, and we're trying to empower people to, do it in a way that's easy to get results fast, is kind of the bottom line. Do we have any other slides that we should show? I think that's it for those slides on that one, from what I had. I think the only thing, I know, if we could go back to the grid for a minute. The one thing that we wanted to clarify, so there's something that's called breakage, meaning Shaklee has some rules that if you don't do this, you're not going to get that. So that was one of the things that I asked you, and I liked it because your presentation starts with the first slide saying how to maximize the plan, and that is something that my dad was all about, was finding ways to maximize. So could we go to that slide again for a minute, Patrick? And so just share with me, what would be a way that you wouldn't get the 40%?
Well, let's say that you have, usually it's the other way around, but I'll answer your question.
Okay.
If you have sales of over $10,000 and you have 20 people who place orders, then instead of getting the 40%, you get 35%.
And this is online, right? Placing orders online.
Right, yes. Because you must meet both columns. If you do 10,000 and you have 30 people or more placing orders, then you get the 40%. But if you have 10,000 and you have 25 people, then you get 35%, not the 40%. So very important to keep both.
And again, those are first level customers, meaning member, or it doesn't include an ambassador,
people that you personally sponsor. That's members and customer that you personally sponsor.
Right. We don't want to use the word first level there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's again why it's so critical that you guys learn how to build a solid customer base. You will notice that we shifted in 2021, and we're really kind of almost there with our languaging. That's why you'll notice we shifted to the wellness educator strategy, where we're teaching you guys how to become wellness educators and how to build a community of buyers, because we want you to be able to maximize Shaklee's plan. So if we could, let's go to the next piece here, I think, and that is a poll, if we could. And then maybe we could, we'll take a couple questions, and but let's go to poll first. And you know what I just realized? There we go. I'm ahead of one notch there. And let's first give them the resources. I'm looking at my sheet. I flipped the page too quick. Do we have the link where we could give them the resources? This is where we found it, but again, as you guys can see it, that's the online version. We're going to give you a on-Hell's version, so do with those things as you will. And I just realized that we have a poll, but it's not exactly going to fit there yet. And so what I wanted to show is, one of the ways that we want to be able to talk about is, if we could go to actually Kristen's segment, and then we'll swing back to the poll. And that is, what do you do with this information? So can we bring Kristen in?
You can bring me in.
Okay.
So let's talk about what should you do with this information, because we know it's a lot of stuff coming at you. You might feel a little confused about the compensation plan. What truly matters is your ability to get people interested in the opportunity first place. It's great to have it, but if we can't get people interested in it, it's not going to be super beneficial for us. So that's where our focus on marketing strategies and tools becomes crucial. So after watching Heather Chastain's webinar on the report about attracting in Generation X, Y, Z, and so on, I wanted to share a few of our key takeaways from that. So the report highlight that to attract the younger generation, so thinking about people who are in their maybe early 50s, 40s, 30s, and younger, business, you need to keep things incredibly simple and very supportive. Younger folk want quick, extra income, so easy to understand pay plans are essential. And the quick extra income doesn't necessarily mean it has to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. It can make a big difference, but they need to see it quickly. And they also need a clear plan with a friendly mentor. They prefer having guides to help them start. They're heavily promoting the presence of a trusted guide to help them start and be available along the way for support. The beautiful thing is, if you exactly for 6 months or more, all of you are incredible guides anyways. The other part is effective onboarding, hands-on help video, live video conferencing, in person. So either way, whether it's live or just they can watch videos for training, either way is fine. This is critical because this helps keep them engaged. They can take things in short little bursts, take information in short little bursts, and it makes it a little less overwhelming for them. Also addressing worry high startup costs by highlighting low entry fees and earning potentials can also help ease concern. So if you're talking huge, big numbers, which for now big numbers is, if you're talking $300, $250 to $300, they start getting a little antsy. So if you can put together for under $100, it's way easier to for someone in those generations to accept that they could do that. Other part here is using a variety of communication methods. So emails, texts, video calls. This helps keep your new builder engaged. So by making things straightforward and supportive, you can attract and retain new ambassadors, helping them feel confident and excited about their journey. So aligning with today's audience is the big key. And at Your Freedom Project, we anticipated these marketing trends back in 2020 and shifted a lot of our messaging, as Jody was just talking about. And that's why we replaced the project pipeline to the Explore Opportunity enrollment funnel. Okay, and we have two funnels, business one and a product focused one. Our simple step-by-step video tour does an exceptional job of helping people explore the Shaklee opportunity. Importantly, it shows them that you're willing to be a guide and mentor, which is exactly what Heather's research shows that they're looking for. And wellness educator marketing strategy is perfectly aligned with these insights and the new Shaklee compensation plan. So let's talk about what next geners want. So first thing is they want or need the need for a 30, 90-day written roadmap for success, where at the end of it, whatever the duration is of those three, getting results from it and learning to lead with education instead of pushy, spammy sales tactics. And that's where the YFP blueprint comes into. The other part, like I mentioned before, is the presence of a trusted guide. When you can walk them through the videos, ask them questions, ask them for if they need clarity, that's going to make them feel a lot more secure in making a decision. And it's also building the trust and rapport that we know is so important in this business. So, so offering a guided tour where they can safely explore in a simple step-by-step flow without any pressure this is other network marketers, Shaklee ambassadors, and then of course Amazon as well, because they have that support that they need in order to make these decisions and feel confident in their decisions. Now, it's also important that there's effective onboarding. So a nice checklist to get people starting up, addressing worries again about high startup costs, and all of this is through the enrollment funnel. Help them start and available for as they go along. So what trainings can they plug into? What assets can you point them to that are going to help them? And then again, using the communication methods. So wellness emails, SMS, Zoom, wellness communities, and of course your educational ecosystem ties right in it. So that's how we've lined things up for this. So we're really excited that this research is supporting the change we've been making over the years, and really looking forward to empowering you guys to use these tools to help attract those people in. So with that, I think now we're going to
And if we could just mute Angel, Patrick, I think we're getting some feedback. Okay, we are in the poll. Go ahead, Kristen.
All right. So the question for right now is, would you use the Explore Opportunity Tutor if we guided you? So 1, I'm already using it. 2, I process. 3, yes, please guide me. Or 4, I don't know. So if you're in Facebook, you can give us a 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on your answer. For those of you here in Zoom, you should get a little box that you can tick, or you can put it in the chat. Either way is. And I see a lot of 3s happening in the chat. So that's great that you're curious about it, and quite in. So congratulations to those of you who are already using it. It's definitely a process. And it's actually the process that got me interested in Shaklee. So there we go. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of the poll. So 66 of you say, yes, please guide me. So if you would like us to reach out to you so that we can guide you through, you can put your contact info in the chat. And if you want to, you don't want everyone to see your contact info, just where there's a little right above where you put your message, it'll say to everyone. You can switch that when you click on it to hosts and panelists, and then only our team will get your in. And then 14% of you are already using it. That is fantastic. 2% of you already have a process. Way to go. And then 17% of you are not sure. That's perfect. All right, and I think with that, we're passing it back to Jody.
Okay, so again, what we're trying to share with you guys is what matters is getting as many people as possible to the point where you can actually have a discussion with them about the compensation plan. It won't matter how well you know it if you don't have anybody to share it with. And that is where we want to help you guys. So we want to help you to be able to transform your approach and be the wellness educator that customers seek. And we have a couple ways to help you guys with that. And one of them is to book a free strategy session. So we're going to help you with your strategy so you'll learn how to attract people online magnetically using your online presence, and then how to build your wellness community by doing that, and then retain those as buyers and builders for life. So you can do that. I believe the team will be dropping a link for you in there. Another option is you can take a 30-day trial of our educational marketing hub, risk-free. And then finally, you could get a free download, and that is the blueprint that we shared earlier. Again, the Wellness Educator blueprint. So that's what we specialize in, is making sure that you guys can find the people, enroll them, and then retain them, and then utilize like what Shaklee's offering you, or what Angel has designed on his own, or whatnot, in through that. And then one more thing, if we could go to the next slide, and that would be for some of you that are interested, you may be interested in our products. There's a link to download our new product brochure so that you could read it in your armchair. If you don't want to do everything digitally, you can download that and see the different services that we are offering. and several of them are actually on promotion after this webcast till the end of the month, so that we can get you started to help you become a fully equipped wellness educator and get you going as fast as possible.